In this video, we are going to cover some of the more deeper aspects of building your website, such as the search engine optimization options that we have, some analytics, social profiles, and various properties like that. So as you're building your website, you'll notice on your dashboard on the right-hand side, we do offer some suggestions over here. Upgrade your website, link your social profiles. These will help you through the process. If there's something missing that we feel is important, our system will indicate, hey, maybe you should take a look at this and add some of these features, because it ultimately may help you be more successful online. So to get started, we're going to go to the general settings section. These properties control various aspects of how your website behaves or is displayed. So the first thing is the site title, and that is what appears first of all in the title bar in your browser, and it also appears in the header here if you've not uploaded a custom header, and we'll get into that later. But you do have the option to add a graphical header or image header to your website that will replace this text. But for now, the site title is this text here. You have the option to control where that's displayed. So if I only want it to show up on my homepage, it'll show up there. If I want it to show up, for example, in mine, where it's added to the beginning of every page on my site, regardless of where you go, you're going to see Artist Jeff in that title. And again, that's important for search engines. It is a preference that some people have. They like to have their name out front as people browse their website. That's just a preference, but it does come into play with search engines. Copyright protection, by default, this is enabled on all websites, and actually you cannot turn it off on the newer designs, just because we feel it's very important to protect your work. If you are running an older design, you can turn that off, but for now, that's not even an option that you can manipulate. Meta keywords and description, these are invisible properties on your website. They are important to search engines, and where these factor in is how the search engine sees your website. So keywords describe what your website is about. So for example, if you were a photographer, you would want to use words that maybe people are searching for to find your website. So if you're a landscape photographer, include landscape, black and white, photography, things like that. The description here is a short description that describes your website. Some search engines use this to display more information about your website. Again, it is mostly invisible to users, and I'm not going to see it. It's basically in the code of the website, the DNA, if you will, but it does factor in with search engines. Portfolio link title. By default, your portfolios are named portfolio, and that's how you get into this section of your website where you can view the segment on the website that allows you to drill deeper into those galleries. You can change that if you don't like the word portfolios. You can name it galleries, you can name it my work, you can name it whatever you want, but you do have control over that. Further down here we have advanced meta tags. That's for certain scenarios where you may need to add custom data to your website. We're not going to get into that right now, but I should point out, if you are designing your website and you have questions about any of this stuff, we can certainly help you set this up. That's something that we specialize in, and we are always happy to help at no extra charge, certainly. And then the social media network links are these links. Well, I don't have any. We'll get into that, but they appear in various sections on your website, and that allows you to enable them or disable them. Some websites have a hit counter, which shows the overall traffic over time. You have the option to enable that or disable that. Once you're happy with your changes, save changes. Sitemap and analytics, these are integrations with Google, which essentially allow you to get more metrics or more data on how people are finding your website or using your website. And then the sitemap allows Google to essentially get a better picture of what is on your website. It is basically a map of your website, so that Google can follow that and ensure that all of your data is covered. Again, this is another thing that we are specialized in. We can certainly help if you need these services set up for you. We are always happy to help. The last thing is social profiles, and these are the links to your social profile links or your profiles. So this would appear on my website. It would show up on the bottom here if I added those in, but they are useful because it does create links between other platforms that you're on. It's always good to add additional resources to promote yourself. And that is the basics of the properties of your website. We will get into the pages options in the next video.